Welcome back, everyone, to the Self Improvement Podcast. I'm Ian. I'm joined with Dalton here today.
What's up, guys?
We are all about personal development, specifically for adolescents, because I feel like that is the best time. Like, the earlier you can get started with finding ways to improve yourself and finding ways to effectively sometimes even changing yourself, that's going to be best done as soon as possible, like in your life. But if you're a little bit older, don't lose hope either. Anyways, welcome again. And our topic today is integrity.
Integrity is the willingness to do what is right when no one is watching. And integrity is really about setting the example. So if you want your subordinates to take out the trash, you take out the trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be as simple as that. Humbling yourself, right? But it's more than that. It's what I like to call being in alignment. Okay, so being in alignment with what you say you are and what you say is important to you and what is important in general. It's practicing what you preach. It's walking the walk, talking the talk. Especially like for someone like me, right, who has a business about giving transformation to others and discussing like life principles, specifically in the music industry, and all that stuff. But I think what's more important than that, and what is more higher level that we need to get into first, is how integrity ties into leadership. So I'll give you guys like this opening statement and point, which is that if you lack integrity as a leader, it's not so easy to hide it. And then your followers, if they see that, they're not going to want to follow you. Because who wants to follow a leader who doesn't practice what they preach? Or, yeah, both like in public and in private, like Dalton brought up earlier. It's what you do at all time, at any given moment, that matters. But to you, Dalton, like, how does integrity like tie into leadership, and why should leaders or aspiring leaders even, because that's what most people are, they aspire to be leaders, what's holding them back from like understanding integrity and putting it into action?
I'm not sure what's holding people back from understanding integrity and putting it into action. What I can say is that when you have integrity and you're doing the things that you say you do, people will have respect for you. If you're not, you're just a hypocrite. Why would anybody want to follow a hypocrite?
And here's another point, and this is kind of like deeper even. Even if nobody knows about your lack of integrity, not you specifically, but in general, you will feel bad about it, consciously or either subconsciously. It's not something that, oh yeah, nobody's gonna know, so it's fine, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. You can, but there's gonna be this like off feeling. You gotta have integrity.
You gotta be real. People, like, who wants to hang around somebody who's not real? Who wants to follow somebody who isn't real? Who lies? Because if you don't have integrity, you're lying. Not only are you lying to your team, you're lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself and you don't have integrity, then you don't have humility. Because if you're lying about what you're doing, then you have no humility. You can't improve yourself. Oh, I'm fine. I don't actually do this. And no one needs to know. It's not like it's gonna hurt me, but it will.
That's your ego speaking. It's not gonna hurt me. I love the voice change.
It also affects your ability to establish relationships.
True. Especially with like doing cold approaches, which I've been doing lately, is like you gotta have a clear intention, and you have to be confident in yourself enough to admit that your intention is to, socialize, make friends, get dates, all that up front. Okay. And like even in business. And now we're getting into the examples portion of the episode. In business as well, like if a prospect asks me like, okay, what is this about? Like, why'd you reach out? Or um, what do you have planned? I'll be like straight up, like, hey man, I feel like I can potentially help you with this. And right now we're kind of in the process of understanding each other and whether or not we're a good fit. And 80% of the time, 90% of the time, I get a lot of respect from just doing that. Like, oh, this guy is honest. He's not trying to hide or trying to manipulate me or hide his process or whatever. But he's upfront, and he knows what he got planned.
Initially, you asked me what I think is keeping people from having integrity and
Right.
acting with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you really brought it out there. It's the fear of maybe not being accepted, of not
Mm-hmm.
doing good because of it. People, oh, you're bad at this. And people thinking you're weak.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, when you when you have vulnerability and your intentions are honest and you have integrity, you show you have humility. And that's going to garner you respect. People are going to respect that. They're not going to say, oh, he's weak. You're actually strong if you can do that. It's harder to say, I'm bad at listening.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to say I'm bad at listening than it is to say, oh, I'm a good listener. I know I've been listening to this entire time. I know exactly what you said 2 minutes ago.
Right. Because also, like, it doesn't open up the door for you to improve. And this is the main theme here. How can you improve? Admit and face your weak points. Be honest about them. Be humble enough.
And in the beginning, Ian, you were saying how it's great to start young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to start later. If you're just coming across this, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just finally, you're 30, you're 45, you're 50, whatever age, it's okay to start now. Actually, it's great.
Better late than never.
There's a Chinese proverb that goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Back to starting young. All the time, people tell me, like, wow, Dalton, you're way ahead of your curve. Like, you're way more mature than people your age. You have your life together. That's amazing. You're doing great. You're going to do good things. And I'm not saying that to put myself all high and mighty. It's just to show that when you start early and you try to improve yourself, and it's not about people recognizing it, but people will recognize it. So it's just beneficial all around.
Yeah. Another thing popped up in my mind. Oh yeah. So even though like you might say that, oh, we're young, we got a good start. Well, there's always someone that subjectively you think is doing better than you.
Well, there are people that are doing better than you all the time.
Yeah, but like exactly, that's the point. So nobody's special. There's always more to do, more to achieve, more to be. Like, I know producers that are 3 years younger than me that have hit placements, like top 10 Billboard, and I don't have that yet. But that's the outcome. That's not the process.
I work at the YMCA, and one of my colleagues there has a daughter who's in high school. She's a junior in high school. And she's already been Well, she's a senior in high school, and she's already been touring colleges.
Wow.
She knows exactly what she wants to do as a career. She's on multiple sports teams, is a lifeguard. She's doing great with her life. Her nutrition is great. She knows what she needs to put in her body to be optimal. She's always trying to improve herself.
Nice.
She's younger than I am. She's been doing this for longer than I have.
She's a junior, you said?
She's a senior in high school.
Senior, okay.
When I was a senior in high school, I figured out kind of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't on that path of improvement. And that just goes to show that there are going to be people that are better than you, and that's okay. It's not about them. It's about you. It's not about being better than people.
You are born good, let me say that. We're all born worthy. That's a belief I have.
And in leadership, it's not about being better than your team. You want to push them to high standards, and you want to hold those high standards yourself. And it's kind of like integrity and leading with example. If you're going to make your team, I don't know, if you're in the military and you're training cadre, and you're going to make your team do, I don't know, 50 push-ups every 5 minutes, 4-mile run in 28 minutes or 25 minutes, you better meet those standards too.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be the best. You just have to work towards it and hold others to that standard, to your standard. Don't say, hey, you guys do this, but I don't got to do that. That's not having integrity, is it? If you got to do 50 push-ups and I never do 50 push-ups, do I have any integrity? This is the workout program that I'm giving you, and I can't even do 50 push-ups. How can I expect you to do 50 push-ups?
That's funny. Yeah, like when I was doing approaches, Dalton like demonstrated what he was talking about, and then he told me to do it. And I'm like, wow, man, you did that. I can do that too. And then I did it. And so he was leading with integrity in that example. And yeah, like another example is, okay, so in my business, I got a program. And obviously, I want to get people to sign up to it so that I can serve them, I can change their life, I can teach them something important. But I am not asking them to invest in themselves unless, well, before, the only reason I can ask someone, I can encourage someone and lead them and help them decide if it's a good decision for them to invest in themselves is because I have done that myself. I poured thousands of dollars into myself. Tens at this point. And so I'm in a position because I know what it's like, and I know what kind of results and transformation it can bring you to your confidence, your knowledge, your career. I know what that's like because I've transformed. And this is not to brag, like a couple of weeks ago, I think you said, Ian, like you're nothing like the person in high school. And I believe he's right. And so I improved. And here's another thing about leadership is you don't have to be the best. And I think you mentioned this as well before I started talking again. And that's true. You only have to be a little bit farther. You don't have to be the best. You have to be a little bit farther. You need to have humility and all these principles that we talk about in order to lead.
It's a self-inflicted crucible. It's you versus you. You have to be better than yourself. And when you're setting that example, other people are going to follow it. So if everybody else sees, hey, Dalton isn't just telling me to push hard in the final sprint. He pushes hard in the final sprint. Dalton's not saying to keep setting goals for times and keep trying to get faster. That's what he does. He pushes himself. So when you set that standard for yourself, you can set it for others.
Beautifully said. I feel like I want to give one more example to really drive this home, and then we'll wrap everything up. We'll summarize it, give some final thoughts, and we'll go from there. Cool. All right. So, another example. Yeah, meditation. So I meditate, and I tell people to meditate. I don't, tell them like from an authoritative place, but I suggest it. I will never ask anyone to meditate more than 30 minutes consistently because I myself haven't done it. So if I haven't been doing it, why would I tell someone to do it? And even right now, like sometimes I do 20 minutes because it's kind of challenging to get back into it sometimes. But yeah, it's just unfair, right? You want to know what it's like, and you want to be the example so that you can set the standard and lead from there.
Yeah, and one thing about having integrity and doing what you say is when you put other people through that, your team, you know what it's like. You can relate to how they're feeling. And you have that insight and experience and knowledge that will help you and ultimately help them. For example, I'm just going to throw out running again. I run with this woman because I just want people to improve their health. If you improve your physical health, I believe you improve your mental health, and if you improve your mental health, your life, everything just follows suit. And so I run with her once per week. And sometimes she gets tired and she wants to stop running. And so I'm like, okay, just keep pushing a little bit further. We set goals, like, markers. She says, this sign, I'm like 10 yards past the sign. And I'm only able to do that because I know what she feels. When you just want to give up, when your body feels like it's going to fall apart. And to keep pushing, you can do it. You know you can do it. And if I can do it, I know she can do it. And I know that it's all a mental game. And I know that if I tell myself during that run that I can do this just a little bit further, and I do that positive self-talk, I can make it. And if that's the case for me, then that's the case for her. And I know what it feels like. I know it hurts, and I can tell this. I can tell this to her. I know it hurts. I know you want to stop. But don't. Because you can. You can make it. You will make it. It's going to hurt, but you're going to be able to do it because you're going to tell yourself you can do it. And it's going to feel amazing.
Amazing, man. I felt freaking motivated, dude, by that. Good stuff. Yeah, I believe in Dalton a lot. He has that, leadership quality about him. He knows how to speak in a manner where he gets you motivated, at least for me. So yeah, that will do it for this episode. If you guys have any questions, believe there's a comment section if you're on Anchor, and obviously on YouTube you can drop your questions there. We will do our best to review them and answer them either directly or on the next episode. Thanks for showing up, guys. See you next week.